Elsewhere, there was Europa League action today as well. Spurs were taking on Wolfsberger. I've already forgotten the score. I think it was 4-0. 4-0, Jurgen, in the end. Spurs go... you can't celebrate that, Jurgen. Is that how low we've gone on Spurs? That beating Wolfsberger is worth celebrating?
No, every win for Spurs we celebrate.
Yes,
that's a must, you know. No,
that's very true.
So,
and obviously we saw Dele Alli getting a couple of assists, Gareth Bale with a goal as well. These are players that a lot of Spurs fans are crying out to seeing them more and more in the bigger games, in the Premier League matches. So you can understand they could use this as an argument as to why they need to be used more. However, I suppose, Jurgen, the flip side of that is it is only Wolfsberger.
Yeah, but I think, you know, obviously the strategy right now is to get far in that competition and possibly win the Europa League. If you win the Europa League, you enter the Champions League for next year. So obviously Jose Mourinho, he knows that, you know, he needs to get silverware to White Hart Lane. And one way is to win the League Cup at the end of April against Man City, which is not going to be an easy one. That's a way. Or now, obviously, they're just ninth in the Premier League. They are 23 points behind Man City. So there's a lot of criticism, obviously, around White Hart Lane for Jose. But so he has to grab on to the Europa League and say, okay, let's give it a shot there. And he can do that. I mean, it's doable. It's possible. I think he's done a good job now the last couple of 2-3 weeks to get Gareth Bale a couple of minutes more and more. He got Dele Alli back in the lineup. I mean, the beauty that he scored today is absolutely fun to watch, a bicycle kick. So hopefully he gets him back on board and they keep on pushing a bit more. Obviously, they need to climb badly in the Premier League table, but one step at a time and hopefully good things happen.
What were you looking at?
Oh, no, I was looking at the next 3 Premier League fixtures because he has to give Daniel Levy and the ownership something tangible at the end of the season. Now, if he wins this competition and delivers the Champions League, then he can sell that.
Yes.
And he can sell it as a financial gain, a trophy, rebuild the squad again, bring some more players in. But if he doesn't, and he continues to sit where he is, he's got big problems. In the next 3 league games, Burley, struggling, Fulham, struggling, Crystal Palace, average side. You know, that could be defining for him because if he loses even 2 of those games, he could be looking at ending up mid-table. Right? And that's just not going to sell for Tottenham. And he can say, well, I'm changing the squad.
But overall, could that actually help him? Because if you aren't chasing a top 4 place or a European
but it's not acceptable for Tottenham to be mid-table.
You can focus on the Europa League. If you sit to a Tottenham fan, finish 10th and you win the Europa League, they'll bite your hand off.
Well, yeah, and he can sell that as well.
Yeah.
And look, if they win this competition, and that's a big if, then would I expect them to be managing Tottenham next year? Then yes, I would. Because he'll say, look, I've given you Champions League football, doesn't matter how we got it, but we've achieved it. But if he doesn't, and this league form continues, I just think that's going to be problematic for him.
And obviously those clamouring for the likes of Dele Alli or Gareth Bale to come in, Jurgen, but from a manager's perspective, there seems to be a lack of trust there for a couple of key players.
Well, we cannot tell from the outside. No, only the players know it on the inside. The coaching staff knows what's going on. The people that work there day in, day out. I think it's really, really a good signal that Gareth Bale is now getting more minutes, that Dele Alli is back. And obviously, when they score, then they're happy. You know, players, you score, everything is all right then. Obviously, it's crucial. It's crucial that Jose has the locker room behind him, that they still believe in things, believe in titles to win, which could be Europa League, which could be the League Cup. But I totally agree with Craig on the fact you need still to climb up in the table of the league. You need to get somehow closer to the top 4 at least to sell it to the Spurs fans.
The one thing I would say, I don't know so much about Gareth Bale, but the one thing I would say about Dele Alli is I don't know what the issues are between the two of them, if there are any. Seems to be there's got to be. The one thing I would say is I would be extremely surprised, I might be wrong, but I'd be extremely surprised if he was not busting a gut in training every day to say to Mourinho, get me in the team.
Right.
I'll tell you why. because he was a fixture in the England team up to not long ago, and there's a European Championship, which every elite player wants to go to the big tournaments, right? Every elite player wants to go. And he knows, in its current climate, with his lack of games, the chances of him getting on that plane to whatever it is slim. So I would be shocked if he's messing around week in, week out and training, happy not playing. I might be wrong, but I don't know a player yet that doesn't want to go to a major championships. Sure. And I think that's what he's going to be striving for. And if he is showing Mourinho that, the chances of him getting more game time is good. But he's got that to aim for as well. And, you know, if I was him, I'd be really, really worried that I'm not getting the game time. And I might not between now and the end of the season. And quite frankly, Gareth Southgate has got lots of other options that he can go and look at.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.